Good morning to our expected lecture for one Masnita. So today my group IT Fix are going to present our big problem-based task for computer network security. So our group members are first one it's me TARVEN my matrix number is 01DD32011012. The second one is Khuhan as my agent. Its matrix number is 01DD20F1018 and the last one is SUNDDRA Sinasamy and its matrix number is 01DD201095. Okay, let's move on to our PBT instruction. First one is a background. With the significant growth of internet usage, people are increasingly share their personal information online. As a result, a enormous amount of personal information and financial transactions become vulnerable to cyber criminals. So here they try and tell that people are increasingly revealing personal information online, and fraudsters take advantage of it and gain access to vast quantity of personal information and financial activity. The second one is a challenge. Hanis get an email from Central Bank of Malaysia, Bank Negara Malaysia, shows that someone has attempted to access her account and the bank has locked it. In order to Hanis to resolve the issue, she has to click on the link and reset her password. So the threat actor are hoping Hanis will be panicked about her money and click the link and then give them the login information. So basically, they tell that the threat actor sent a fake email claiming that Honey's account was blocked, and they're hoping Honey's will panic and click the link, allowing them to get the access to her account. So this is the security message that Honey's received. So here they're telling that this is a security alert you requested to help you protect your account. So your account has been locked. You have exceeded the number of three login attempts. So you to unlock your account, you must update your password. So for the next part, I pass to next presenter SUNDDRA.
Thank you, Tarvan, for your explanation. Now, I will explain about, based on your experience, identify the vulnerabilities that Hanis faced. Hello, my name is SUNDDRA Sunasami and my metrical number is 01DDT20F1095. Based on my experience, I have found three weaknesses faced by Hanis, namely lack of knowledge in phishing attack, her personal data being stolen by the attackers. She may not update her antivirus software. Let's look at the first point, which is the lack of knowledge in phishing attack. Hannes has no knowledge of how dangerous a phishing attack is. Maybe she know after she fell a victim to a phishing attack. Phishing is an attack that tries to steal your money or your identity by asking you to disclose personal information such as credit card number, bank information, or password on website that pretend to be. She need to be aware of attacks like this and take action to prevent phishing attacks of this type. The second the second point is her personal data being stolen by the attackers. If she trusts an email from an attacker that is not a legitimate website and clicks on a link from a given email, then she may face some consequences. The first is her bank password and username will be known by the attackers. After clicking on the link, it will show a page that looks like the actual bank web page and ask the user to enter the username, old password and the current password to reset the user's bank password. After user submits, the data goes to the attacker and the attacker finds out about your bank details. The second vulnerability is clicking the link. It is possible that there is a ransomware or virus that will automatically install in the background and steal data from the user. The user is unaware of this, that she has been the victim and her data has been stolen by the attackers. The final point is Hanis did not update her antivirus software regularly. Every individual needs to update their antivirus software regularly. If It is important to always update the antivirus software on the computer because the computer is constantly stressed by new viruses. Antivirus updates contains the latest files needed to fight new viruses and protect your computer from the threats. Next, I pass to Khuhan to explain the next question.
Thank you so much, Sundra, on your powerful explanation. Now, I'm Khuhan here, and my metric number is 01DDT20F1018. I'll be explaining about the types of attack and how it will happen. So, firstly, I'll be explaining onto the types of attack on email phishing, where the most popular form of phishing attack is email phishing, which has been around since 1990s. Hackers send these emails to any address they can get on their hands on. Their email usually warns you that your account has been compromised and that you must respond immediately by clicking on a link given. The links usually lead to fraudulent websites that steals passwords or install malware on a user's device. Usually, like this kind of malicious content is stored in the downloads, and when the users open the document, the malware is installed. The malware is will be installed. On the other hand, the hackers even claim that you were browsing adult videos on your computer when the camera was recording. You must pay them generally in Bitcoin, or the clip will be released to family or your colleges. So usually if you see, if you click the link and then when they open and the malware will be installed easily, I can say. And if example not, on the other hand also, like you can see, like hackers also claim that you were browsing into adult videos, like some unnecessary, like all kind of bad videos that you actually browsing. And what will happen, like once you are so what will be actually happening here, if you didn't pay into a Bitcoin form or any cash forms or something or rewards to them, if you didn't pay to them, they'll be actually releasing your video that you was watching or something to the whole. They'll be virally easily, I can say, to anyone. So that is how it will happen. Now next I'll be continuing into the phishing attack. So voice phishing, often known as phishing, occurs when someone or dials a phone number and generates a false sense of urgency, causing the recipient to act against their best interest there. The main goal of their mission is to steal information. Those calls are most common during stressful periods, and they are made while pretending to be a trusted friend or relative on or to represent them. A phishing campaign can also be carried out by using a voice over internet protocol, VoIP IP server, to imitate various entities in order to steal sensitive data or payments. Another case in which a phishing campaign was launched against members of the UK Parliament and their staff. The assault was a part of larger campaign that sent out at least 21 million spam calls to UK politicians. So this is on the second one. Follow with the last one, that is the spam phishing. Although spam phishing involves email, it is more targeted. Cyber criminals began by gathering information from publicly available sources such as social media or company's website using open source intelligence or SINT. It involves attempting to steal a specific individual's login credentials such as their name, position, and contact information in order to fool the receiver into thinking the email came from someone else within the organization. Since the recipient thinks this is an internal request, so the person will take the action mentioned in the email. So if they are asking like all the personal information, they'll be actually directly giving, because it is actually like coming from the original or the internal request, so they'll be easily believing. And for example, easily I can say, for example, we have spare phishing. An attacker attempted to target an employee of NTL World, a Virgin Media subsidiary. According to the attacker, the victim was required to sign a new employee handbook. This was done to attract customers into clicking a link that would require them to enter personal information. Not only that, on social media sites such as LinkedIn, also spam phishing is common because attackers can utilize multiple data sources to build a personalized attack email. So this is the three types of email attack that I have been actually explained here. Let me move into the lastly, I'll be actually on my part. I'll be actually continuing. I'll be passing now to Tarin back, and then lastly, I'll be continuing on to the conclusion. So stay tuned. All right. Thank you.
How to detect the attack? So the first way is infected attachment. The second way is domain name. Okay, the person's infected attachment. So phishing email can take many different shapes. However, no matter how phishing emails are sent, they are include a payload. So will either be request to download a malicious attachment or a link to fraudulent website. So these payloads are designed to gather sensitive data such as login, traditional credit card information, phone numbers, and account numbers. For example, in this picture, you can see clearly that they attach a link. So the link is at unlock your account. So it is a blue color, right? So it's a link. So this link might be infected and can gain Honey's login information. So next is a domain name. So mostly a genuine organization will send their email from their original domain or not at gmail.com address. So mostly all business will have their own email, so domain and the company account. So genuine bank information, for example, will begin with at bnn.gov.com. So for the first picture, you can see that the real bank Negara Malaysia email is at bnm, which is bank Negara Malaysia at gov.com. The second one is for mbank. So handbag they are using nbankgroup.com, and the third picture is for CIMB banks. They are using a CIMB.com. So each business they are having their original domain name. So the message are most likely clear real if the domain name match the original sender. So it's almost probably a fraud if the email originates from the agent and that isn't associated with the actual sender. So if the sender use a public email domain, so such as at gmail.com, it's easy to recognize it's a fake email. So or you can search in Google to get their original domain name.
Now let's check it out the countermeasure for this attack. The first point is filter email for phishing threats. Honeys can use filter email for phishing threat software to detect phishing email in her email box. To prevent phishing email from reaching your system in the first place, prevent your email from harmful URL and attachment. Basically, this will quarantine message containing malicious URL. The second point is filter on malicious URL. Uh, Honey should use extension that filter malicious URL in her browser. Similarly, be sure to safely resolve any URL from shortens, example like a bit, ly, good.gl, etc., to ensure that they do not resolve malicious URL. In an attempt to bypass the filter, some attackers will send phishing messages that do not contain text in the body and a large image where the image itself contains text, which will be ignored by some filter technologies. New York character recognition based filtering technology can detect these messages and filter them. The third point is don't click on email links from unknown source. If you suspect that an email message is a scam, don't open any links or attachment that you see. Instead, hover your mouse over it, but don't click it. The link to see if the address matches the link that was typed in the message. In the following example, resting the mouse over the link reveals the real web page in the box with the yellow background. Note the string of numbers looks nothing like the company web address. That's all. Next, I pass to Khuhan to explain the conclusion part.
Alright, so now I'm going to end the session with the conclusion part. Phishing attacks are still one of the most serious hazards to individuals and the businesses today. As this research points out, phishers frequently take use of human vulnerabilities in addition to technological advantages. Age, gender, internet addiction, user stress, and a variety of the other factors has been found to affect people's vulnerability to phishing. In addition to classic phishing channels like email and the web, new sorts of phishing mediums including the voice and the SMS phishing have become extremely prevalent. Furthermore, as social media has grown in popularity, so the usage of the social media based phishing also on trending. Similarly, phishing has been evolved beyond obtaining sensitive information and financial crimes to include cyber terrorism, hacktivism, reputational damage, espionage, and the state sponsor attacks. Although research has been performed to determine the motivations, strategies, and defenses for these new crimes due to the diverse structure of the attack vectors, there is no single solution for the phishing problem. Subsequently, human literacies is the most effective defense against phishing. The intelligence of the assaults and social engineering features make it impossible to totally eliminate the threat. Developing effective anti-phishing proposals to countermeasures strategies that prevent users from being exposed. The assault is an essential step in mitigating these attacks, even if contiguous security awareness training is the key to avoiding phishing attacks and reducing their impact. The importance of establishing anti-phishing techniques that detect and block the assault was emphasized in this report. Furthermore, has highlighted in this research the significance of methods to detect source of assault could provide a stronger anti-phishing solution. So that's all from our whole group. Thank you so much and have a nice day.